Welcome to Insture, your virtual lecture classroom. Today's lesson is about academic writing, and we will be looking at the expository thesis sentence. Before we begin the lesson, it is important to look at the objectives for this lesson. First, we will define the word thesis. We will then look at guidelines to formulate an expository thesis. Then, you will recognize the importance of having a thesis sentence to guide your essay, and you will be motivated to watch Insture again. When you are planning to write an academic essay, it is important to understand why you need a thesis sentence. According to the Concise Oxford English Dictionary, 2004, thesis originated from Greek literature, from the root titanai, to place or placing a position. From this understanding, we can deduce that we need to place a special sentence called a thesis sentence somewhere in the essay. This sentence states our position on the idea we are writing about. Just imagine if you were asked to guide or give directions to some people. You would have to give that information before they begin. It is the same way the thesis sentence works. The thesis sentence should be written very early in your essay because it will guide the persons to follow what you are writing. And so, here is an outline of what your expository essay should look like. You have your introduction. In the introduction, you have an overview of your topic. You get your reader to become familiar with what you want to write about, and if there are any special terms, you give definition for those terms. And before you end your introduction, you should have your thesis sentence. Then you move on to your body paragraphs. You notice that your body paragraphs are taken from your thesis. And then you give supporting sentences before you conclude your paragraph. During this time when you are writing, you should place in-text citations, and these come from the research information you are using in your work. The number of paragraphs that you will write in your essay depends on your thesis sentence. How many different ideas are connected to your thesis sentence? And then you will present your concluding paragraph. And in that paragraph, you sum up your main points before you conclude and remind your reader of your thesis sentence. Therefore, you can see that the thesis sentence is in the very first paragraph. And it is important to put it there so that your reader may be able to follow what it is you are writing about. So then, how do you get the expository thesis sentence? Exposition means you are explaining something that you would have researched. And you do your research in many different media. For example, you may research online, you may do a field trip, you may do an interview, you may work an experiment, or you may read books about the topic, or you may watch television, listen to a radio program, you may go to the theater, or even watch an event to get ideas for your writing. It is very important to do your research on several different sources. But this is the easy part for your writing. Consider that it is a good idea to make up a research table of the important sources that you will need as you research. Your research table looks like this. You have the ideas from your topic or question that you're writing about. Then you have your bibliographic source and a summary and evaluation of each research item or result. It is important to summarize so that you know what are the main ideas that you plan to use. And then the evaluation explains just how valuable the source is. Is it authoritative? Is it credible? You may make a note to say why you have chosen this source. Just say, for example, that you are writing an essay about the effects of road repairs in Jamaica, or the effects of poor road conditions in Jamaica. In order to find information on your topic, you can analyze the topic and take out the important parts. So road repairs is very important, and the lack of road maintenance may also give you other ideas from different sources. Your bibliographic source is in the middle of your table, and then you write a summary of the useful ideas that you have found that can contribute to your essay. Remember, exposition means explanation. So, the expository thesis sentence is a mini explanation of what you plan to expand on in the body of your essay. If you are writing about the negative effects of road repairs and it happens in a place, make sure that your research is very specific to that place. And then you go on to explain those ideas or those findings in different paragraphs. Then conclude. Remember the guidelines. Get an idea to write about. You may get this idea from your facilitator as you are doing the course. Your facilitator will give you an idea to write about in a sentence. Then you do the research from different sources to get specific information on the idea you are writing about. In order to remember all that you have read and the important points that you want to use, it is a good idea to use a research table to store your information for your review. The research table will have the most outstanding content that you would like to use from your research. After you have gathered enough sources, and your facilitator will usually tell you a minimum number of sources to use, then you are ready to formulate a thesis sentence with the main ideas for your essay. So then, let us look at two examples of an expository thesis sentence. Can you say which is better? Number 1 says, 3 negative effects of road repairs in Tambayu. Number 2 says, the 3 negative effects of road repairs in Tambayu are waste of time, damage to vehicles, and vehicular damage. Can you say which is better? The answer is number 2. It has the main part that you want to write about, and then it has other ideas that you would like to explain on the topic. In order to keep a reader's interest in your writing, think about arranging your ideas in the thesis sentence in ascending value, or from least to important to most important. You may regard this idea as a writing strategy. That is all for this session. In my next session, I shall instruct about organizational modes or modes of development in your writing. Remember, always visit Instuere to get assistance with your academic writing.